Hey, welcome back to another episode on our new series, Pro Tips to Live a Dynamic Lifestyle. If you're new to this show, you definitely want to stay for this because we're dropping them every single day and we're giving you guys tips from literally experts and legit pro tips on how to live a dynamic lifestyle, especially in this pandemic and new circumstances and landscape that we're facing. So if you're interested, make sure to subscribe below. Other than that, get ready for this next one.
Guys, welcome back to another episode on the Pro Tips series. So we have Menno Henselmans. How you doing today?
What's up, guys? Pleasure to be on the show.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. And, I really appreciate your time just because, first, before we even hit the record button, you were talking about how you were supposed to do a seminar, over there in the States near New York. And I think you said you're in Philadelphia area. So, it's unfortunate, right? Because a lot of people had to do seminars, all those type of things that are in person, and we just can't do it. So hopefully you're making the best of it. And more importantly, man, I just want to know, how are you doing, personally? And then what are some tips that you could give to someone that's struggling right now and how they could possibly reinvent themselves during this time?
I think you can still be very productive. I had a post with an extensive list on my social media. Some things that I recommend doing are, you can still do bodyweight workouts. That's tons of posts have been written about that by now. Get your finances in order. This is a very opportune time for that. Look at all your expenditures. Do you need all of that stuff? Your computer, your house, get your house in order, clean up your computer. That kind of stuff can also really save you a lot of time later. Get your files in order. It could be you have backups for everything. It can save you a lot of hassle in the future. If you work with your family, spend quality time together. Make sure you're bonding. You enjoy your time. If you're single, you're alone, look into things like online dating or WhatsApp or wherever you can, communicate with people, get social, not be lonely, and maybe find a partner, find the one in the process.
Yeah, you could do dates through Zoom now.
Yeah, I think people are now learning that almost anything in life you can do via internet, other than, manual labor and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the only positives of this whole thing. I think this will revolutionize teleworking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right on.
Absolutely. And then I was going to ask you too. So I know that most of your business is online, but as far as the seminars, that's a really cool dynamic with the in-person stuff. And we do stuff like that too, workshop wise. How are you kind of pivoting? Are you doing virtual seminars or anything like that?
No, not at the moment. Maybe if this would last another couple of months, then I would consider it. Like I said, like you said, I had a seminar planned in New York and one near Los Angeles. But right now the plan is just to postpone it and do it later this year when it's possible again. If still in the area and it's possible, going to be some complications with visa and everything. But right now it's just keep the business going. I have my PT courses, I have my clients. I have a 100% full workload still. So I'm not really looking to take on much more. And predicting the future at this point is tough, I think.
Yeah, I agree, man. There's so much uncertainty going forward just with everything. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just taking it one day at a time, staying positive, which brings me to my next question. So being quarantined now for almost, I would say, a little bit over 6 weeks now, is there any new systems or new habits that you've developed, from this that you didn't have before or anything like that?
I already had very, not rigorous, but established routines and the way I work, the way I answer emails, the way I schedule my day. I still do all of that. So, I'm 100% used to online working because 99% of my work is basically online. I travel a lot for international speaking engagements, but that is, especially business-wise, that is the 1%, So, in that sense, this hasn't changed too much for me. I think for a lot of people, like I said, one of the benefits is revolutionizing teleworking. Because if you're not used to this yet, then this is the perfect time to get used to working online and maybe even hanging out with people online, connecting in other ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm interested to know too, man, what are you telling some of your personal trainers in your personal trainer course? Because I know a lot of them are probably doing what's a hybrid approach of in-person and online training. So what are you kind of telling them to give them hope or your predictions or confidence on what what it may look like going forward, like in the in-person aspect now?
In the course itself, we don't have anything about it because it hasn't been updated for this. And hopefully for the next round, we won't be in this situation anymore. But I would say that for most people, you definitely need to get creative. And I see that the people that were proactive and were the first to set up virtual coaching, basically just via Zoom, for example, coaching people, like they do their home workouts and you're looking at their workouts essentially. The people that were first to do these kind of things, group classes. I mean, you can still do a group class basically, and you just have a lot of people that all do their home workouts, and one of them, the instructor, guides the others how to do the exercises. So I think a lot of these things you can actually do online as long as you motivate your clients. That's the most important part, that they also want to do it. So I think, and actually for our business, this is also probably, well, it's very, very detrimental at the moment, but I think in say 1 or 2 years, this will be very beneficial because things like online coaching will also take off immensely. So in that sense, for PTs also, this is a great time to invest. Make sure that if you were not online yet, this is a good time to work on that, start up. I don't think it's realistic for most people, other than the clients you had, to get 50 online clients all of a sudden, because a lot of people are doing that right now as well, and some people are short on cash. You have other concerns, but over the long run, I think if you are now working on getting online and increasing your online presence, this is a beneficial development.
Yeah,
100%
totally agree.
And so I want to switch gears here, Menno. So let's just say hypothetically, like your business got taken out by this pandemic, and my hope with this question is just to give whoever's listening to this, some confidence and some action steps. So say your business got wiped out by this pandemic and you have all the skill sets, from like the past decade that helped you get to where you're at now. What are some steps you would take to kind of rebuild the business with your skill sets? Are you a fitness professional looking to create more income, impact, influence, and independence? If so, we actually just dropped our new book, Rise of the Fit Pros, so you guys can be on your way to doing all those things, and you can sit there and build your hybrid training model. So if you're interested in getting your copy, make sure to click the book or the link right here, and you guys can grab it. Other than that, make sure to enjoy the rest of the show.
That's tricky. I do think that it's almost impossible to wipe out like my business or any kind of online PT business, because it's all in here, right? So there are two things that are your business essentially. That's A, your skill set, and B, your reputation. As long as you have those, it doesn't matter if you lose, it does matter, but it's certainly not the end of the world if you lose your Instagram account, for example, or the Facebook stops operating, or someone deletes your email list. Those kind of things, they're a hassle. But as long as people know who you are and you have the skill set to provide value to people's life, then all the other stuff, that's just the operational management, the marketing. It's not what actually, in the end, makes people give you money to provide value to their lives.
Yeah, man, I'm so glad that you hit those 2 points, the skill sets and then the reputation, and really too, the reputation part, which a lot of people don't think about. And this is something that we stress to our fitness professional students before they're building a business. I'm always about thinking about, how do you build a great reputation where you treat people well? It's all about integrity, not having your favorite clients, separating people. It's all about just treating everyone very equally and respectfully and getting people more and getting people results. So I love that.
Definitely. Scarface, right? In this world, I have my word and my balls, and I'm breaking none of them for anyone.
Yeah, but it's just such a good point, man, because so many people would freak out about, oh, my followers, my email list, like you said, and it's just like, yeah, that's all. It's a vanity number. It's helpful, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's not what got you there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think in general for PTs, one of the biggest things in terms of business is, yes, you need to care about your social media. You need to optimize all of that. You need to do the marketing. You need to be smart about it. But in the end, a follower, a like, that is business-wise, doesn't matter. And in the end, nobody will care about it either. People care about you providing value to their lives. You actually helping people. You've coached someone for a couple months and they send you an email, you've completely transformed my life. I feel healthier. I came off my medication. I feel like a different person. That's value. That's why they're paying you. And if you have 100,000 people on Instagram that like you, and you're not having a business, then there is something wrong with your marketing. There's not something right with it, you know?
Yeah. Or even just the messaging behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then also,
Yes.
Did you want to say something, Chris?
Go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say, so I definitely agree with all those points, man. So thanks for sharing that. And then we're just kind of going towards the end of this interview. So I've been asking all of our guests, Menno, that, and I'm just curious, like, cause there's so much going on. There's so much uncertainty, right? We don't know what's going on next. So like, what do you feel like the big messages from like the universe, from like humanity? What is your perspective on this everything that's going on?
I think the universe is telling us shit happens. No, I don't think there's, there's a lot of things to take away from this politically, economically. For most people, this is just, force majeure. There's nothing you need to seek into this. What each and every one of us, I think, have to do is learn how to cope with this for themselves. Like, find out the best way for your purposes, your goals, how you stand in life, how you can deal with this and come out the best way possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well said, man, because like, this is something that's like, it is all happening to all of us, but it's definitely like an individualistic type of like approach of how we all deal with this. Cause there's such a huge mental side of it and just all that stuff. So I like that, man.
100%. You have some people, I have some IT clients, for example, and they do the exact same job, but with much less actual work that they need to do. And they don't have to commute anymore, and they still get paid. And they're like, this is great. I have a home gym, and I don't mind this at all. And others, are doing much less well. So it's completely individual how you adapt and how you perceive the situation.
Yeah. Well said. All right, Menno. So is there anything that we could support you on or the listeners, and where can people connect with you?
Basically anything I do and publish and write, either on my social media, Facebook, Instagram. Best way probably to get to know me, if you don't know me yet, is to go to my website, which they'll link because nobody can spell it or pronounce it. MennoHenselmans.com. And on the top right, you have an email list, and that's like a course with my most popular articles, things that people really liked, and you'll get that all for free. And then at the end, I try to sell you my paid products.
Awesome, man. We'll have that all linked up in the show notes. And I just want to commend you before we end the show. We've known each other for probably a decade now, and you've had a huge impact on us, when we were doing a lot of the health and fitness side of coaching, man. So thank you so much for everything that you've done for us, for other people in the industry, and just keep up the good work, man. You're impacting a lot of people.
Absolutely, man.
It's good to see you doing well.
Yeah. So when we all got the eyebrows going.
Yeah, we could be related.
Yeah. All right, Menno. Well, thanks again. And until next time, guys.
Hey, thank you so much for watching this video and another episode on pro tips on living a dynamic lifestyle. We truly appreciate it. Hope you got a lot of value out of it. If you're interested in getting more value like this from these pro tips, make sure to subscribe above. We're going to be dropping these daily. Also, if you are a fitness professional and you're looking to create more income, impact, influence, and independence, we just dropped our new book, Rise of the Fit Pros, so you guys can do all of that. You can also start building your hybrid training model with in-person and online training. So make sure to click the link or the book right here to grab your guys' copy, and we'll send it over to you. Other than that, we're out. Talk to you soon.